Namaste. This is a conversation I've always loved to speak about, our history. The past, present and the future, let's have a historical dialogue. That's the thought process. Uday Maurkarji and Makhanlalji and also Sanat. Thank you very, very much. My first question is, to understand our past, कहते हैं कि अतीत को समझना आवश्यक है, यानी भूत को, we have to understand. और भूत, if you are able to understand our past, reconcile with our past, accept it, that's when we can live in the present and perhaps look ahead to the future. How much do we know our history? And how much do we need to know our history to even be able to perhaps understand the present circumstances so that we can course correct for the future?
I think there are many false and true narratives going around, in terms of history. I think if we don't interpret history properly based on true history, then our future is difficult. You need to identify true history and then interpret it properly. So I think there is a need for National History Interpretation Commission. I think so. Correct. Now I'll put 2-3 things. Sultanate period. Amir Khusro. Correct. Amir Khusro is sold as a great Sufi and great symbol of Hindu-Muslim brotherhood. But he was supporting Alauddin Khilji also. If you look at the Sultanate period, you see one big, we have a very ordinary sense of history, Now, entire Muslim period is clubbed as Mughal period. It is not correct. Sultanate period is the worst period for Hindus in their entire history. There is not a single ruler during Sultanate period from Iltutmish to Lodi, Tughlaq, Firoz Tughlaq, Muhammad Tughlaq, who can be called secular by any yardstick.
So this you're saying...
So that is the most painful period. Then comes Akbar. No, I'll tell you. I am not pitching for a ultra-right narrative as such. Then comes Akbar. Akbar initially is a fanatic, and after 1570, he turns to modern interpretation of Islam and, becomes a moderate for that matter. Now, Akbar is the first person who withdraws jizya tax. He is the first person who puts a stop to temple destruction. So now this whole narrative where Akbar is being compared virtually with Aurangzeb, I think it's not correct. Aurangzeb was certainly most fanatical person, but he was only half fanatical as compared to Khiljis and Tughlaqs.
Okay.
Get your point?
Okay.
Second, you see, the period between 8th and 12th centuries, when these Khajuraho-like temples were made, where even orgies were, depicted on the walls, correct? That is being sold as a golden period. My sense of history, my understanding of history, based on very good books, says that was a decadent period of Indian history. Because Vamachari Tantric cult had taken over the society. There were Kapaliks who were doing sex in the open in the 8th and 9th century and 10th century. Correct? And that was the reason why Islam got a foothold in India. So what is being sold, by people who want to serve perverted content, sexually perverted content, that we are a land of those temples.
Liberal values, open values.
I don't think so, because that is the decadent period, because it was the period where Vamachari Tantric cult took hold of the society.
Correct. What I'm asking you, Udayji, is why is it that a nation or a civilization, and Professor Makhanlalji, I'm going to ask you this question again, that we have an itihasa of more than 7,000-8,000 years if you were to go by what Rakhi Ghadi has shown us. How is it that that is all concised into 500-600 years, 1,000 years, jo hamara atit tha? Is that what is going to help us define who you are going to be in the future? Is 10,000 years of history, is that so difficult to accept, understand, grasp, that कि इसको अब इतने में ही सीमित कर देते हैं, भाई ये वाला पीरियड है, इसको निकाल लो, जैसे इंस्टा शॉर्ट्स हो गया, तो हिस्ट्री शॉर्ट्स नहीं हो सकता. That's exactly what's happening.
I'm very grateful to you for asking this question, and this question I answer you as a university professor for 45 years. I taught in Banaras Hindu University, Cambridge University, Aligarh
Ji.
Muslim University. So this question is very dear to me. Why history? Why 500 years history or 10,000 years history? Let me explain it in simplest possible word, which I learned as teacher. Every time you fill a form, you write your name, you write a date of birth, you write your village name or city name, you write your father's name, mother's name, your qualification. What that form is, that's your history. That's your identity. Remember that. That little form is your identity. Because of that, एक column उसमें और रहता है. Is there any criminal case against you? That also is part of your own history. And therefore, same is applicable on nations. Whichever nation it is, they are your identity. History is your identity. And deeper the identity, deeper you are more stable. I will explain that briefly.
Ji.
But at the same time, always remember, why history is identity. Imagine a person who has lost his memory. ऐसा नहीं है कि we do not know. हम अब सब लोगों का वास्ता ऐसे लोगों से पढ़ा है
जी.
जिनकी मेमोरी नहीं है.
जी.
जिसकी मेमोरी नहीं है, is he able to relate himself with anybody? मेमोरी जिसकी खो गई है, क्या वो अपने पिता को, अपने माता को, अपने बहन को, अपने रिश्तेदारों को पहचान पाता है?
जी.
He has lost his complete identity. आप उसको कहीं भी ले जाइए. He will not be able to understand कि जहां मुझे ले जा रहे हैं वो मेरे फायदा का है, गलत है. Same thing happens with a nation which forgets its history. History is not only its identity, history is also its future. And therefore, all the time I am asked this question, why history? क्या देती है हमको? अरे history gives you your identity, who you are. And that is why it's very important to study history, to know history. Believe me, to go to England, go France, go Germany. Even the most smallest house will have a rack full of history books to know their own people. Now I'm coming on very briefly, I will tell you why 500 years, why not 6,000 years. That is where the problem begins, when you become selective. History does not allow you to be selective. History does not allow you to write selectively. History does not allow you to write balanced history. No, history should be written as it is.
जी.
And we the people, consumer of history, must learn to live with history and not in history.
Yeah, very nice. Live with history, not in history, and accept all of our history. That ये जो acceptance है ना उदय जी, and Sanat, I'll come to you in a bit. I'm just going to push Uday ji on this. This is what my grouse is, sir. If you believe that the Nehruvian historians balanced it out or tried to revisionize history, how is raking up the past in tones to say, this is the truth, this is what happened, going to help? Or is it to say, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, this also happened, and this also happened, and all of this makes us? When are we going to adapt that tone? When are we going to say that we were an advanced civilization 5,000 years ago because we saw the Harappan civilization and, of course, the entire Saraswati civilization, but society decayed. We became decadent. We reinvented the wheel. We came back again. And there were different times, different shapes to Bharatvarsh. Eventually, this is the shape. Now, this is an accepting tone. When will we adopt that?
No. Let me add to what he's saying. That it is, very essential that we know correct history and we interpret history in the right way.
Correct.
Now, you see, in that sense, Gandhiji's murder was a big jolt to the nationalist movement. Because those who did not believe in the original ethos of this country, they took over. And then this narrative started coming, Now, in Harappan civilization, there is always an attempt to whitewash the positive aspects of the Harappan civilization.
Right.
Idea is to ensure that India doesn't become a great nation. It is being done by a set of leftist historians, communist historians, and Islamist historians.
Okay.
The first thing which happened after independence, R.C. Mazumdar and Sir Jadunnath Sarkar, two very balanced historians but patriotic people, they were sidelined soon after independence.
No, Udayji, what I'm saying is, I'm not contesting all of this happened. Let's accept this happened. Jadunath Sarkar ji, R.C. Majumdar ji were not allowed to present Itihasa as it happened. There were people who corrupted the interpretation to say as it should be interpreted or as we want them to read it. ठीक है. How are we going to correct that? To tell all of Bharat, it's not with an agenda, it's not with venom, it's not with spite, nor is it with pride or arrogance. It's with a sense of realism to say all of this is what has made us who we are today. Ye kab hoga? And I'm asking you this again is, unless this happens,
I will repeat.
do you ever think that by 2047, that generation will be an accepting Bharatiya generation which knows कि ये मेरा भूत था, ये सब कुछ हमारे साथ हुआ है.
How history is taught?
And this is how it is.
History is taught through schools.
Right.
The first lesson of history a child gets is from the school.
Correct.
So I'll repeat again. We need a National History Interpretation Commission based on scholars who will identify correct history and draw correct lessons from them. Otherwise, these false narratives, you can't tackle them.
हाँ जी.
They'll continue.
जी Makhanlal ji.
Can I intervene?
जी.
Very simple way history is narrate the facts, all facts, first,
हाँ.
so that people know what are the facts. There is lot of space for your own opinion, for interpretation, and always remember, you people have equal right to interpret the facts, not only historians.
Correct.
Therefore, I have always been of the view that first job of the historian is narrate the bare facts.
जी.
Don't say this, that, and facts alone. Afterwards, you give the opportunity for people to make up their own mind about the fact.
Ji.
After that, you have all the time for interpretation. You have all the time for balancing. That will be history written by you, not necessarily the history itself.
Right.
That is your opinion of history, but public which reads the facts, they will be also able to form their own.
Now the point is, how do I teach these facts? How do I make sure that every person sitting here understands the same set of facts and it is left to their interpretation how you want to interpret those facts? So that means a half glass full, half glass empty, and an empty glass after you drink it. There are three possibilities.
Anand, that can only happen when we set up a National History Interpretation Commission.
So the point is, again,
that is the only way. Otherwise,
now, there
all
is
sorts of
let me
material
give
is there
you-
in the market.
okay.
Let me give just one example what is history, because he is also sitting quietly and very shy, not so aggressive like us. History, I'm telling you how to write. You may have a different opinion. He pointed out Gandhiji's murder. One fact is Gandhiji was murdered by Nathuram Godse. Other fact is court case went on. Those files are there. And third fact is Godse's own testimony, which was blacked out for almost 70 years.
Correct.
Now it is out. Now, these are three bare facts. You cannot amend any of this. You cannot hide away.
Exactly.
You cannot hide away Godse's statement. You cannot hide away. G.D. Khosla was the judge. He said, if there was a jury and all the people sitting in the hall were made part of jury, Godse would have been acquitted. That's Justice Khosla.
I'll just-
Anand,
Anand.
let me complete it. Let me complete it.
Give chance, I'll add something.
Let me
You
complete
see,
it. No, let me complete it, sir.
Ji.
But Justice Khosla gives a different judgment. Beyond that is all interpretation. Why Godse killed, what Godse meant in his testimony, why G.D. Khosla said if the entire hall was jury, Godse would have been acquitted. Now, all this is matter of your own interpretation. But
Correct.
Facts have to be there.
Correct. So
No,
what you are
just
saying is
one-
put out
I-
rather than
Anand, I want to add one point.
Ji,
One
ji.
point before you give me a chance.
Ji,
I think
ji.
you must give me a chance now.
yeah, ji.
You see, take Savarkar's example. Savarkar is still being accused of Gandhi murder.
Correct.
In spite of other commissions,
Right.
declaring him innocent,
Correct.
Now, in 1978, Manohar Malgaonkar, the great author,
Huh.
literary figure, he wrote a book, The Man Who Killed Godse.
Huh.
By no means he was a Hindutva person.
Correct.
He was an honest, patriotic Indian,
Right.
He met Digambar Badge,
Huh.
the person on whose statement Savarkar was arrested.
Right.
The one who became approver.
Right.
Badge told him in 1978, 30 years after Gandhiji's murder, that Savarkar had no role to play, had given the statement under the pressure of the then government.
Right. No, I understand. What I'm saying is, our itihas or history is.
He was not part of the.
Ji, so-
Savarkar was not part of the trial. He was acquitted right in the beginning.
Yeah, he was not. He was. What I'm saying is, this has got to be history. What the judges said, what the accused said, what the incident was, and what the prosecution said. All of this, should it not be out for us to consume? If some of it is masked, that means you are being fed partial information so that your opinion, our opinion, as a society, as a people, is doctored in a particular direction. Now, thank you for your patience, Sanat. Now, he is doing something which is very different. What he is doing, he's collecting art. Because art is a huge representation of our history. Over a period of time, how art evolves, how art is shown, and what happens also is a reflection of how we evolved, what were our influences on us, our society. So you got a lovely book, what's called Gems of Indian Art, Sanat. So let's talk about it, and let me understand your perspective. How would you want us to understand our itihas, our history, and what kind of a dialogue would you want on our history, say, 20 years down the line?
First
Thank you
of
for
all,
your
thank
patience.
you so much for having me. I would like to thank you, the fellow panelists, and the entire News Rising Bharat team for giving me this platform where I could talk about the book, Gems of Indian Art, which was unveiled by the Honorable Vice President of India, including various other senior cabinet ministers. And this book actually was written in the memory of my late grandfather, who started in our house the process of collecting art, because he was the person who believed in Indian history. And he said that art is something which will stay till eternity. If the artist is not alive, but the painting created by the modern contemporary artist, or the artists such as Raja Ravi Verma or Amrita Shergill, who were of the pre-colonial era, exist, we can see the painting and understand the artist's perspective and their view, what they used to think of an ideal Bharat. The old Bengal school was set up as history of Indian modern art of the Bengali artists, set up by Sri Rabindranath Tagore ji, and Rabindranath Tagore ji was also a part of it. They were the people who saw how Indian art can grow. Because actually the problem what has been not only in Indian art, about Indian history is, few people have only thought that the British history or the Western part of the history is superior to our history. They have always neglected that India was the richest country if it had not been looted by the people who looted India when it was the richest country, country in the world.
In the colonial period, like you
In
say,
the
from
colonial
1890
period.
onwards till about 1920, the biggest loot happened. Yeah.
And
So-
then after that, a process came of demeaning the Indian history, only showing how superior their kings, their queens were. Why don't they talk? Why they never talk about Maharana Pratap or the Indian kings who conquered the world? Why didn't they think that Sikandar, who came down everywhere, he couldn't conquer India? Why don't they realize that? Because of the way the Indian Maharajas fought.
Correct. So that aspect, is it captured in art? Have you been able to collect art that shows the interpretation of how we would like to say, as Bharatiya, how we interpret those times and also the previous periods? Have you been able to collect from those periods?
Of course, they have been art. I have an artwork of renowned artist M.B. Dhurandhar, and I would like to talk about that. That is a painting, that is a huge canvas painting showing the Darbar of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and how he used to...
Is it there in the book?
It's not there in
In
this
this
book.
book,
It
but
will
you
be
have it.
it will be there in the volume 2 of this
Volume
book.
2, so we look
because
forward to
that is the treasure which we have. And that painting, actually what it reflects is how Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj used to conduct his court. Now I'm unfortunate not to see how Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj used to conduct his court, but he is an inspiration for us to see that how actual governance is done. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and the Maratha Empire set up the principles of governance. How rape accused or how people accused of murder or serious heinous crimes should be convicted, should be punished, and how an ideal Bharat should exist. He showed that. Now the problem today is everybody is trying to alter history, as Sir had also mentioned, for their own vested interest. People are trying to interpret. You should have the history put, you should have the paintings, you should have other forms so that people can decide these
It's
things.
there. So the idea is, do you agree with that, Udayji? Yes, we should have people who will interpret the history in the right perspective. That is a Bharatiya perspective.
I would
not
like to add one thing.
Yes, please. Yes, Anand, complete.
For the same thing, I also, as Sir said, I would like to urge from your platform, the Ministry of Culture, to make up a platform where Indian art and culture could be moderated by a regulatory body where Indian history can be preserved. Because today what is happening is people are preserving only their business interest. Because it has been regulated by private individuals, few people who are actually intermediaries are trying to control this art market, thinking that they are, because there is very less government interference. Because the government feels that Indian art is only $144 million in India. They don't see what the larger picture we are forgetting is, it is $60 billion in the world.
Yeah.
Because the world market is always trying to demean Indian artists, because of which artists such as F.N. Souza, M.F. Hussain had to take inspiration from Picasso.
Right.
Indian artists have now become something for which the newer artists which are coming will take inspiration from the Indian artist, the great history of India, to make paintings of the great history of Bharat, so that the future generations, 1,000 years down the line when we are not there, but the history, that painting exists, which is a part of the history, that should tell the world how the ideal Bharat looks like.
Right. Very nicely put together there. But at least overall, do you agree that yes, we need to have someone who would interpret the facts based on how we want to shape the narrative for our country? But most importantly, we need to put the facts out, not dress it up, not darken the lines, not shade what certain versions, but all of it should be out for everyone to consume. Because when you accept something,
Correct history.
you have to accept all of it.
Correct history is something which is the need of the hour. If we want to become a great nation, then we need to know correct history. However bad or good it might be for our needs.
Yeah, final word,
You
Makhala.
see, I think we are ending. We all are stakeholders in history for one very simple reason. History is our identity. Our means each and everyone. So therefore, we must be gracious enough to accept our history the way it is. Because there is no country in the world which does not have history. But only those people become great, those who accept the failures, successes, and everything else in the same spirit. You cannot be selective in history. Again, I will repeat one sentence. Please learn to live with history, not in history, and own everything.
Ji.
Good, bad, ugly, that is part of us. Not that this is not mine, this is not yours, this is yours. No. Collectively, it belongs to all of us.
Ji.
I would like to add one more thing.
Live with history,
Anand,
don't live in
one
history.
thing I want to add.
Haji, I've got to wind up. Yeah, final words. Yeah, Ji.
You see, take example of Akbar. Akbar is today compared with almost with Aurangzeb, you know. Now, Akbar is the most hated figure in Deobandi madrasas. If you go to Deobandi madrasa, Akbar is, you know, sold as a non-Muslim almost.
Right.
You get my point?
Huh.
So this shows what kind of history is being narrated, you know,
Correct. So
from both the sides.
Yeah. So I'm just saying one has to have the understanding and we need to see all of what happened. So in a lifespan of about 30 years, lifespan about 40 years, lifespan about 20, 25 years, everything hasn't been good, even in our own personal history. We've all made mistakes. We've all shown colors of gray, colors of black, shades of black, but largely we've always been green or we've always been good, right? So we have accepted ourselves as to who we are. So that is the same thing that we need to do as a country. And yes.
I would just like to add one more thing, that talking about history shows us, history does two things. First of all, it gives the other person and ourselves an idea of what we actually are and what mistakes we did in order to correct those mistakes for a new future. Because if you have done one mistake, it doesn't mean that you have to continue doing that mistake. You can correct yourself as well. And one more thing on history, I would like to add, the Western influence during the previous era, I was not there and nobody in this room was there, the Nalanda Vishwavidyalaya was considered one of the best universities in the world. People from abroad used to come in to the Nalanda Vishwavidyalaya. They used to see that how can we get admissions. They were not admitted in our great university, Nalanda Vishwavidyalaya, or universities such as
Right.
Banaras Hindu universities or other. They were not admitted over there. But today what the trend has started is that you have to go to Harvard, you have to go to Oxford to study, and then only you are considered of that level. I'm not saying that those universities are bad, but what I want
See,
to make
that
the
is
point
again
here
where
is,
we are. It's a fact that there were great universities like Takshashila and Nalanda in Bharat. It's a fact that today we lack some of those kind of universities. It's also a fact that there are still potential to build such universities in our country. Now, all these three are facts which we need to put forward. How you look at it and how you interpret it, that we should leave to the
First,
people.
We need to correct our immediate history, you know.
So,
way-
correction,
the
तभी
way
होगा
the-
जब सारे facts
the
सामने
way
आएंगे.
the role
correction,
The role of revolutionaries
Sir,
has been-
correction is
has
very
been,
simple. Correction is you saying this is right, I saying this is right. My point is,
the problem is everybody is
the dialogue
interpreting
on
history
history
the way
can
they
only
want to
happen
interpret
when
it.
everything is put forth and we accept कि ये सब हुआ था. ये हुआ था, जो fact हुआ था वो सब हुआ था. सिर्फ इसको देखो फिर उसको मत देखो, इसको देखो उसको मत देखो. That we shouldn't do. That's where I'm trying to.
we should learn from the good history.
Some authority has to do it.
You see,
It can't be done by people themselves.
Yeah. So,
Therefore, the National History Interpretation Commission.
Sir, I think there will be people who will question the word interpretation. The National History Factual Commission or Revelation Commission, that is perhaps a better word than saying interpreted, because there again it is colored. That's where finally we are having a conversation about our history and it's an engaging one. It's not a boring lecture. So I think that's why I need to thank all of you that putting perspectives here, and इतिहास में बहुत कुछ है सीखने के लिए. And all these facts, I think as a generation, we need to have the curiosity to learn, to know, so that हम कौन हैं, कहाँ से आए हैं, कहाँ पर हैं और कहाँ तक जाना है, इसमें absolute clarity है. Thank you very, very
Thank you,
much.
thank
Thank you.